All right, guys, welcome back. It's Dawn coming to you live and in person from out here in the garage. It's a sweltering day here in Salt Lake. In fact, let's find out how hot it is. Hey, Siri. What's the temperature in Salt Lake right now?
It's about 101 degrees in Salt Lake, Utah.
101. And there's a little bit of cloud cover, so it could be worse. So anyway, we're out here in the garage. I have the little AC unit all plumbed up and ready to go. However, I have to shut it off to talk to you, so I've turned it off for now. I've got a few parts in, not all the parts that I had anticipated working on this weekend, but I did get some. So I will open those boxes up and we'll find out what we got, and then we'll see if we can't get a little work done. So let's do that, shall we? All right, well, it has not cooled off any at all, but I decided to give you a quick look at what we've been doing today. So, passenger side fender flares are on, the driver's side fender flares are on. That's all going pretty well. So I thought, all right, I'll move up here and I'll put the grill in. So I found the bolts. I have a bag of the bolts that are these kind of things with the tapered end. So this side lined right up, and I got over here and I'm fighting and trying to figure out what's going wrong. And turns out my power steering pump hoses are in the way. So that's annoying. I must have the wrong hoses. Those hoses have been my nemesis since I started on them, but I did them a long time ago, so I'm kind of surprised I'm having an issue now. But initially, the factory hoses were really in bad shape, and so I ordered some different ones, and they didn't seem right. So I got these, and now they don't seem right. So I'm gonna pull them out of there. It looks to me like maybe only the one that is on top here is the one that's in the way, but it is definitely hitting against the bottom end of the grill, which is making this gap here be 3 inches between the grill and the fender, which is obviously not going to fly. So I'll see what I can do with that. I yank those out of there, and at least the first one, and see if it gives me enough clearance. And then I'll tackle the second one, and we'll see what we see once we get to that point. All right, well, I have had mixed success. I got the grill in, most of the bolt holes lined up. There was a couple of them that they sprayed that undercoating on the fender, and so it had covered over the hole, so I had to kind of take a little drill bit and drill through that undercoating stuff, so we know that's bulletproof. But I'm not sure it's lined up exactly properly. But I lifted the hood up and set it on there anyway. After putting those little hood bumpers on the top of the grill, there's 4 of those across there, and what you do, there's a little hole in the backside, and you take a punch and stick down in that hole, and then you can push on the punch, and it's pushing the little cone-shaped part down into the hole, and then there's the cone-shaped part, and then there's a lip. Once that cone part pops through, then that thing's in place. So I got the thing up there, and it's got too big of a gap on the sides. It does look relatively straight. I can't find the bolts that go in the hinges for some reason. I'm gonna have to pull out one of the bolts that's up there and figure out where those are. So that's the other problem of having a project that takes 47 years to get done, is you forget where you put stuff. Although I have the bolts that I thought were the bolts for that, because I painted them and painted the head. They're those Torx head or star head, I call them, but Torx head screws. And I painted the heads of them, but they're bigger than the holes that are going into the hood, so I got to track those down. And you saw my power steering hose. I tried to see if it would go in there now that the grill's in place, and it will not. So it comes up too far out of the power steering box before it elbows over. It needs to elbow down lower to clear that thing. So I'll have to measure that and figure out what my current one is, and just see if I can get a shorter one. And then that one just comes up and ends in a piece of open hose that goes onto the fitting on the back of the power steering pump. So the grill something doesn't feel right even still though, because over on the driver's side where I didn't have that fender back tight, screwed up tight against the firewall or the tub itself, it's kind of pulled out a little at the bottom, like the hood and all that fender on that side's tipping up at the front. So I'm quite sure I'm not quite there yet. I gotta figure out what I did wrong or what's going on there. But at least I have the hood up off of the floor, so that'll be good. I am a little concerned because up on the back of the tub there's that lip that's kind of the rain lip, so the top of the cowl comes along and then it angles down and then goes, and there's a lip that sticks up. And I've had a couple people mention that lip is up too high on these reproduction tubs. And when I set that hood in there, the back part of the hood dropped down into that lip quite a ways. And so we'll see what happens when I get the hinges bolted up, if we can actually lift that thing up, or if that's in fact gripping it. And I can't really tell until I get the hinges there, because I got to hinge it up there. So some progress, some not so progress. It's still just hotter than blazes here, and the power was out for a while today, so I kind of couldn't work on this for a while because I didn't have lights and I didn't have any AC, and it's still 100 degrees. So I've had the air conditioning running in here all day, and it hasn't taken 5 degrees off this place. Sun's just beating in through the windows in the garage door, and the ambient air temperature outside is 100 to 105 in that area, and it's going to be hot again this week. We'll be getting the extreme weather alerts, so I hope this hot spell breaks pretty soon. But there you go. Some progress, some not so much progress, but for now I'm going to slide this thing back over, and now at least I don't have to keep moving the hood every time I move anything. So it's sitting up on there, and it's there for now. I'm sorry, I just keep looking over here at the tub right behind the fender on the passenger side. I can still see the sun is shining down that panel, and I can still see a little bit of orange peel in my clear coat there. I won't paint another Jeep. if I do that CJ-7, I won't paint it myself. This has been way too engaging, too much of a project. So anyway, that's where we're going to leave it for right now today. I will probably come out one evening this week and work on, see if I can get that windshield in the windshield frame. I did get my seal for that, so I'll mess around with that. But I'm ready for a cold drink, and get in where the air conditioning's running. It's just too hot. So I'll see you next time I am out here working.